We relocated from Telford to Birmingham in 2011. Here in Birmingham, we obviously wanted to have a new home cinema. It took us a while after moving to decide exactly where we were going to build that. And in the end, we chose what was formerly the dining room. We've gone all out on this home cinema basically because it is the ultimate home cinema for us.
Early in 2012, Stuart approached us because he was interested in creating a home cinema system for himself. We'd worked a few times with the guys at AVForums in the past, and Stuart knew what we could do. So we were delighted obviously to help out in any way that we could. The initial part where we were able to help Stuart was in the technical design of the room and help with some equipment choices. We were also able to put him in touch with the correct people to help with the installation and obviously the layout of the room to make sure it looked as good as it sounded and as good as the picture was going to be in the room.
Well, one of the major issues, which is never great in a cinema room, is the fact that there was two French windows, and only did we have one big sheet of glass. We had two big sheets of glass to contend with, and Stuart was keen to keep those because, it was part of an existing house, so there's reasons to keep those. There was two radiators in the room, and that was the only form of heating, so we had to maintain the heating within the room. One of which was on the screen wall, and the designs for the AV equipment already dictated that we had to look to move those. And the second one was towards the rear of the room, but they both had surface-mounted pipes as well, so we had to create a design that allowed us to hide those or chisel those into the walls.
The biggest choice that we had to make was to project across the room. The reason that we did that, of course, was that was the one wall remaining to us, which didn't have a door in it. It presented quite a number of challenges with the acoustics. You didn't want to get the seats right back against the rear wall because you get a problem called boundary gain. It tends to boost the bass to levels that you don't want to have. The other problem that we had to encounter was that if we moved the seats too far off the wall, the seats would sit in the second null point of the standing waves in the room, a nice technical term. We were able to design that out using positioning and using multiple subwoofers. And once we were sure that we were able to accommodate those two things, we could move forward with the design, both aesthetically and obviously to position the rest of the equipment.
We quickly decided that they were good use of the fabric walling for several reasons. On the front wall, obviously there's some quite large speakers, so there's 3 speakers and 2 subwoofers hidden behind the fabric walling. So in the side wall, we actually built those 2 side walls out and created some shelving to house the DVDs, as well as the surround speakers. And on the rear walls, it gave us some space to hide the radiator that was on the rear wall. And also allowed us to have some panels that were removable for ease of future-proofing cabling, so we can run cables at a later date should we need to, without having to chisel back into the walls and things. So it gave us quite a flexible approach to the whole design.
For a room that's not a dedicated home cinema, I don't think it's a good idea to have a permanent screen there. It's just a big white rectangle on the wall. So we were inspired there, of course, by the screen at the Genesis Technologies demo room, which had artwork on it, and using the screen from Image Screens, that artwork, when you want to watch a movie, rolls out of the way to reveal the white screen for the projector to fire onto. And so, that was an obvious solution, but we were then, of course, presented with the dilemma of what artwork to have on the wall, and that's a tricky one because, once you've made your decision, that's it.
Stuart saw my Gotham City piece from Genesis Technologies, and he contacted me and said he had a similar art mask screen for the home cinema that they were building for AVForums. He had a specific idea about what he wanted. He wanted Star Wars episodes 4 to 6, and he knew roughly what characters he wanted in the piece, and he contacted me with a very rough out draft of what characters, what scenes, roughly where they were going to be, and we started from there.
It was kind of an obvious progression there to have some Star Wars artwork. Wanted something unique, wanted something that incorporated all of the characters from episodes 4, 5 and 6, of course, because the first 3 were rubbish.
Stuart knew exactly what he wanted. When we discussed it, there were bits that got dropped out. I added a few pieces myself, and together we worked on the composition a lot to try to maximise the amount of characters we got into it. I think there were 21 characters we got in the end. When Stuart came to me with the idea of Star Wars, it was something that I jumped at straight away.
We're pleased with what we've got. It's something interesting to look at when we're not watching a movie, so we're really pleased with it. It's excellent.
I was contacted by Stuart last summer after he'd spoken to Phil Hinton regarding the reference projector that they were currently using. So I was intrigued to find out about what the project entailed and where or how the projector would be used. So after learning about the parameters of the cinema room, we felt that the X70, because of the true black performance of this projector, excellent dynamic range, would be best suited for this particular room. So since the project first started, we have actually changed the range. So at that particular point in time, I thought to myself, the 75 would actually be best suited for the cinema room. Thankfully, we were allowed to change the projector, and that's what's now in situ in the cinema room.
One of the big trends in the last few years with home cinema projection has been the use of constant height screens, and we knew that we wanted to incorporate a constant height system into this project. What we had to do though was balance the very short projection throw that we had with really getting the optimal image on the screen itself, and the traditional use of anamorphic lenses is tricky in that situation. You need to use a very big lens, which is expensive and most certainly has optical distortions in it. The projector that was used in this system actually has what we call memory zoom, and the memories allow us to store the zoom, shift and focus. When we recall one of those memories, the image changes size on the screen and we can move it up and down as appropriate to compensate for any lens shift. Now, by teaming up this memory with the 4-way masking, we're actually able to create any aspect ratio and within reason any size image on the screen, and that allows us to actually do a constant image height system with full 4-way masking without the use of an anamorphic lens.
We also wanted to have a TV at the front for the kids to use to play games on. I don't want them to be using the projector to play on the Xbox for hours on end. So part of the spec was to have a TV built into the room, and this is where the unique aspect about the image screens, TV art mask screen comes in, because we have the Star Wars artwork behind me there when we want to watch a movie using the projector. That rolls out of the way. And the white screen comes up. When we want to watch TV, that rolls the other way, and a black piece of material comes in with a hole cut in the middle, perfect for a 50-inch TV. And the masks then come in at the side even more, and also down from the top and bottom they come in to perfectly mask the bezel of the 50-inch TV, and that's part of the flexibility of the screen, which we really appreciate.
In terms of the equipment in this room, we wanted to hit some key performance targets. We wanted this room to be able to achieve what we talk about as a reference level. Video-wise, that's specifically with respect to brightness and colour. So we chose the projector that we knew would enable us to do that. Audio-wise, though, it becomes a bit more tricky. You need to use quite high quality speakers. In this space we have speakers from an American company called Wisdom Audio. They're a planar magnetic speaker, which means that the tweeter technology that they use is perhaps a bit different from what people might be used to. The second element of the audio system was the use of some very powerful amplifiers from Audio Design Associates. Those amplifiers have got 150 watts per channel, but they're actually being used in this system in an active bi-amplified configuration. The third and final part of the audio system was the use of a Datasat RS20i audio processor. That's an extremely powerful and flexible device, and it actually, as well as doing all of our normal audio processing duties, decoding, volume control, etc., it allowed us to do a very detailed calibration of the speaker crossovers. We were able to produce electronic crossovers within the device itself. So if you don't know what a crossover is, that's just the part of a speaker that decides how much bass should go to the woofers and how much treble should go to the tweeters. So we were really able to fine-tune this system exactly to the room through measurement. Of course, once we had done all of those steps, we were able to use the Dirac room correction system to really fine-tune and give us a very accurate response. You put all of those things together, a very good quality audio processor with DSP, electronic crossovers, powerful power amplifiers and efficient speakers. You have a very dynamic, clean, very detailed audio system, and one that we're very, very proud to have been involved with.
Knowing that the equipment that we've got is working to its fullest capabilities, just we can relax and enjoy it, and that skin flint element of me is not sort of thinking, oh, can it be any better? I'm convinced that it's as good as it can be. While Neil at Genesis Technologies specified an awful lot of the equipment in the room, I made some choices myself still. One of those were the power Ethernet sockets. Because pretty much everything these days needs a network connection, I didn't want to have lots of routers, so it made sense to use the home plug system that we already have in the house to connect the equipment to the internet and to the rest of the network. Just down here we have the Oppo Blu-ray player, the Wii, the PS3 and the Xbox all connected to that, so that's 4 connections straight away. Upstairs we have the Sonos, we have the Datasat, we have the Skybox, all connecting to the internet. Power Ethernet sockets, very easy solution, just plug and play, in they go. That's something that I was really pleased about. Aside from, of course, the home cinema side of things, we also wanted to be able to listen to the music that we've got. I got some advice there actually from Alistair Colley at Kent Home Cinema. He suggested I get a Sonos, so we've got a Sonos Connect in the system, which allows us, using the iPad, to easily choose what music we want to listen to. That connects to the various PCs that have got MP3s burned from our CD collection, so it makes it dead easy to pick whatever music we want to listen to using the Sonos. I've mentioned that we use an iPad to control the home cinema. I didn't want to just leave that on a chair or loose around the home cinema. I also wanted a convenient way of charging it. So I contacted Timmy Thorson of Habitech, who suggested that I get a launch port. Now that's a really cool solution. It allows you to plonk the iPad on the wall where it charges, and whenever you need it, you just grab it off. It's really convenient. We've had it located near the door, so you can walk in, just grab it off the wall, and away you go. And it's an inexpensive solution as well, so that's another choice that I made for the home cinema, which I'm really, really pleased with. It's a really neat solution. When we're watching movies using the 2.35:1 screen, filling the screen, it means that subtitles aren't visible because they're off the bottom of the screen. They're usually projected in the bottom black bar. So what I needed was a Blu-ray player that allowed me to relocate the subtitles up into the visible area of the screen. There are a few Blu-ray players that allow you to do that, but I wanted to pick one which was renowned for having really good picture and sound quality. Where else would I look for a recommendation but on this great website, AVForums? And one Blu-ray player that got a really good review recently was the Oppo. That's in the system. It allows me to relocate the subtitles up so that we can read them. And also, of course, it allows me to now connect to Netflix and YouTube and other services. So it has all that flexibility from one box. That I'm really chuffed with. That was a choice that I made, and that's working really well in the system.
I hope in this room that we've really ticked all the boxes that was given in the brief. I say one or two things in the brief I've changed as we're going along, and I hope we've excelled on those changes and provided let's face it, a stunning room, while being a very high performance cinema is also just a nice space to be in.
One thing I noticed upon entering the room is the size of it. I was asking Stuart what size of the screen, what's the throw ratio, or what's the throw. Reason being is because you start then thinking how big a room at home is. So I've been inspired by this particular project, and I feel that, I could apply some aspects to it to a room at home myself.
We've been extremely proud to be involved with this project. I think that the room has come together very well. It has a very interesting design that's really evolved, and I believe it's what Stuart was looking for at the start. The other big thing, of course, is that I was able to see Stuart's expression the first time we were able to play the sound system for him, really at true reference levels. It's something that people don't always get to experience, and it really does make a massive difference. So it was fantastic for us to be able to deliver, with Stuart's help, an experience like that in his own home now that he's going to be able to enjoy hopefully for years to come. So it's been very enjoyable for us to be involved in this process, and we hope that Stuart continues to enjoy it for years to come.
So it's been September 2012 to now beginning of May 2013. So reasonably longish process, I guess, creating the new AVForums Home Cinema. We've learnt an awful lot. I hope we've shared a lot of useful information about its constructions, lots of information that people can find useful. Both Vicky and I are thoroughly delighted with what we've got. It's a totally awesome experience. We know we've got the best possible home cinema for our investment, and it's going to last us a long time, and we're enjoying it tremendously. And want to say, of course, a huge thanks to the people who've helped us out with this project. There's quite a long list. Of course, it begins and ends with Neil Davidson of Genesis Technologies, who gave us the ideas and finished off with the acoustic calibration. And from there, it's Simon Ridley of Sontech, who, despite our changes, has been very patient and has finished the home cinema to a very high quality. Also want to thank everybody else who's given us advice. Thanks to the editorial team at AVForums, and Phil and Steve, who've given us some inspiration and confidence that we're doing things right. So thanks, guys. And thanks to everybody else who's helped with suggestions for equipment. And of course the guys at JVC, who've supplied us with a fantastic projector which does the job perfectly. The guys at Power Ethernet, Kent Home Cinema, Habitech and Oppo. And everybody else, the image screen guys sent us over a fantastic screen from Germany, and the ADA guys, and the Datasat folks who are amazing. We've just put a new upgrade card in, which is going to make it even better, unbelievably. And to everybody else who's helped, thank you very much. 100% success. It's a home cinema to be proud of.